Welcome to another Flower Fix tutorial. I'm Monica Starr. Today we're going to create this amazing eucalyptus wreath. We'll start by talking about how we select the product, preparing all the bits and pieces that go into this wreath, the construction and how to attach the eucalyptus to the wreath form, and then we'll talk about the great ways you can enjoy your creation in your home for days to come. Let's jump right in. Knowing the mechanics of how to make a basic wreath is a skill that can be used in so many applications. It's not just creating a wreath to hang on the front of your door, but it could also be a great table centerpiece, a surrounding for a candle, or an interesting vase. So I say it's a really, really good technique to have in your arsenal. Today we're going to start doing this gorgeous all eucalyptus wreath. I love eucalyptus for a lot of reasons. First, very fragrant, very long lasting, and the color of eucalyptus, that beautiful soft sagey green, is just delightful. It's a really neutral color, but also it has a little bit of interest because of that sagey green. When I begin this, I was thinking about, I want to use eucalyptus, I want it to be long lasting, I like the color, but instead of just creating a eucalyptus wreath that was all one type of eucalyptus, I decided to bring in 4 different varieties. So I've got the seeded eucalyptus, which has, of course, seeds. This willow eucalyptus, which is very light, airy, elongated leaves. The silver dollar eucalyptus, about the size of a silver dollar. And then what we're most familiar with, this standard upright eucalyptus. When creating a wreath, we sometimes get overwhelmed if we're looking at these huge big stems and bunches. How on earth am I going to stick this on the wreath form? Well, key here is to prep each variety. So let's start by breaking it down and preparing each separate type. I'm using clippers in the entire application today because the eucalyptus has a really thick woody stem. It's also sappy and sticky. So if you're using your knife, you have a greater chance of cutting yourself and having your hands covered with a gross eucalyptus sap. However, it will smell great, but you'll stick to everything you touch for the rest of the day. I am going to create little tiny groups that are all prepared, ready to go, so that when I start the actual assembly of this wreath, I've got all my products perfect. And I won't get frustrated and have to put down the wreath and prepare more clusters. So I'm gonna do little clusters of each type. I would say make this about 5 to 7 inch clusters. I would just wanna go through, cut. This guy's got 2 nice sections. As you can see, seeded eucalyptus, ready to go. I'll continue this with my willow. Now with the willow, you don't have these huge big clusters, so we're gonna slide our clipper to where new branches come out and make a clip. I come down again, make a clip, 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 and these long leggy ones you may need to cut short because we're looking for about a total stem length of 5 inches. And I'm gonna cluster these all together. So we've completed our willow eucalyptus onto the silver dollar eucalyptus. And finally, the workhorse of the eucalyptus family, the upright. This variety is by far the stickiest of all of them, so get prepared. I will say, if your hands are covered in eucalyptus glue, grab a little olive oil out of your kitchen cabinet, rub it around, it'll take that glue right off. Okay, now all the hard work is done. We have each of our varieties of eucalyptus completely prepared and prepped so that the construction of this wreath goes much smoother. It doesn't really matter what order you assemble the wreath in. However, I personally feel like this seeded eucalyptus and this willow eucalyptus are similar because they are little textural. So I'm going to try to separate them, and I'm going to rotate my pattern. We begin by taking this bolt of wire and spinning it around and then twisting the wire so that it is connected to your wire form or your wreath form. This is all going to get covered up. You don't need to worry about the mechanics too much. But as you can see, tightly, I'm able to really pull and the wire doesn't come disconnected from the form. So we choose whatever variety we want to start with. I'm going to start with this silver dollar eucalyptus. I'm going to make a few clusters. Oh, maybe 4 or 5 stems together. I pick a direction that I want all of my leaves to lay. I place it on top of the wire form. At the beginning, it is a little tricky and awkward, but hang with it. The more product you get connected to the wreath, the smoother it will go. But I really press down, really pull on your wire, and go around the wreath form a few times. Now, this is my finished product. I'm always moving away from the finished portion of the wreath. This guy slipped out. I'm going to just tuck him back in. And I'm going to get ready to move on to the next variety. So I did the nice big leaf silver dollar eucalyptus. I'm going to move on to the willowy eucalyptus with the fine leaf structure. Again, 4, 5, 6 different little stems grouped together. I lay them right over the wire that I just wrapped around the wreath form and tightly pull You can see it starting to form there. Now I'm going to move back to the upright eucalyptus. Lay my stems down right over the top of the wire that I just attached. Pull tightly. And then the last variety that we have here, the gorgeous, very ornamental seeded eucalyptus. I'll do 3 or 4 stems of that. And continue tightly winding the wire around the form. All right, first set complete. We're just going to keep repeating that pattern. We'll go back to the silver dollar, the willow, the upright, and the seeded euc, all the way around the wreath. Now keep in mind, I've chosen eucalyptus for many reasons, but this application could be used with lots of different cool botanicals from your garden. You could go find 5 or 6 different evergreen trees, clip from them. That's what you're going to see around the holiday time. Boxwood is amazing. Dogwood, any of those can also be used in this exact same manner. You don't have to rotate product. You could have the whole wreath made out of the same all boxwood, and they're lovely. And we're ready for our final groupings. Now, sometimes it works out perfect that you end in your pattern. Sometimes it doesn't. I think I'm going to be a little bit off, but as long as the whole wreath form is covered, you'll see that it's totally fine. So my last layer of the silver dollar eucalyptus, my last grouping, and here you kind of need to just pull up the stems, tuck them in. Right here. Oh, let's see. Can we finish it? Yes. And then to complete the wreath, you want to pull out about 8 inches of the floral wire. Go ahead and clip with your clippers. And then I just make sure all of the final stems are tucked in, turn it over, and secure it to the wreath form. And you want to make sure that there's no wire poking straight out that could scratch a table or a door or wherever you decide to lay the wreath. So as you can see there, you have it, a really lush, pretty eucalyptus wreath. It's ready to hook right on your front door, on your mantle, or I love to personally lay this in the center of my dining room table. It's fragrant, adds a lot of color and texture to my home. And again, if it will dry completely like this, let it sit, dry, then hang it to your door, maybe in a month or so. But super versatile technique that you'll use time and time again, I'm sure of it.